Hello and welcome back to another episode of Last Week Tonight with Jacob. Tonight's topic is the well-known Brexit agreement, and if you by any chance have missed out on what it's all about, it's basically Great Britain trying to pull out of the EU without making a big mess. Brexit stands for British exit and is the word people use to talk about the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union. Due to a referendum in June 2016, the proposal went through as 52% of the population voted for a leave. One of the biggest reasons of why the UK will want to leave the EU is because they claim that they will save a lot of money. And this might be a fair point, but if they were to leave, they will lose out the huge amounts of benefits that the EU comes with. The EU works as a cohesive economical and political bloc where people can travel and work over the borders without any restrictions. This is also very important as the union helps facilitate the trade between the members. So if they were to leave, they will lose out the privileges of being an EU member, such as collaborations with the other 24 EU nations. They would miss out on information flowing through NATO and EU, and ironically enough, they would have to pay themselves out of the agreement. And according to BBC, this so-called divorce bill would be estimated at a massive cost of £39 billion. So, in order to save money, they're going to leave an alliance that means so much more than just money. And to do that, they're going to pay £39 billion? It's so simple math, but it's like they're more illiterate than a blind person. As 52% of the population voted for a leave, there clearly are other arguments than just economic ones. For instance, with Brexit, there would become a lot more job opportunities and less forced immigration, as EU laws says that a member nation cannot prevent anyone from another state that is also a member from moving to live there. And the connection between these two arguments are that the UK government are trying to benefit and prioritize their citizens' lives, which would be completely fine if they actually did. However, as they now are a part of the Union, about 1.4 million people from the UK have taken advantage of the work and travel agreement and therefore live abroad in another EU country. And once the separation takes place, all these people's status would become questionable, and the little ones might, in the worst case scenario, be forced to swim back into the condom. So, first they want to pay their way out of the EU to save money, and then they also want to make their citizens' lives easier by forcing them out of their homes and jobs. Just like a little child, the UK haven't developed the ability of consequential thinking yet. The sad thing, though, is that a child sooner or later grows up, which clearly the UK won't do anytime soon. I mean, just look at Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is the current Prime Minister of the UK, which I know is completely unbelievable. He was elected the 24th of July after former Prime Minister Theresa May resigned. And the interesting thing about him, other than that he looks like a 14-year-old kid looking at a pair of titties for the first time, is that he's able to be at such a powerful position acting the way he does. And except the small things, for instance how he appears in public or media, he is known to establish the no-deal Brexit agreement. And the former deal, known as the Theresa May deal, would basically mean that the two parts would have a 21-month transition period to work out agreements. The no-deal Brexit, however, would basically mean that the UK would leave overnight. And this would mean that the World Trade Organization rules on tariffs would apply to most goods sent from UK businesses to the EU, and this would of course be very bad for the UK. And the no-deal Brexit could also potentially create a new hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, and without getting too deep into that, would be completely terrible. And all of this just makes me wonder how the British evolution keep getting worse and worse for every day. But I guess it wasn't so much to expect when they slated Boris fucking Johnson as Prime Minister. So, Brexit stands for British exit, and the whole idea of it seems so desperate, and if you actually think about it, stupid. The UK will lose a lot of money and potentially restrict about 1.4 million people's lives. Boris Johnson, the current Prime Minister of the UK, believes that making no deals at all and just leaving is a smart move, when in reality it is almost as stupid as it looks. And keep in mind here that looking as stupid as Boris Johnson, of course, is completely unbelievable and can't be accomplished by anything or anyone, as he looks like an alpaca. But to almost be as stupid as he looks just tells us a lot. Brexit, everybody, the only mess that is unplottable of. Thank you.